Hey everybody, welcome back to the Underground Lair. We have a base build project. All parts body, Hoxey, H-O-X-E-Y neck, aluminum. Let's take a look at this thing. Okay, there's the thing. I don't know if you could read Hoxey on there or not. It's an all aluminum neck, but the whole, this is an all parts jazz bass body, and as you can see right here, there's about 1/8 of an inch gap for where the holes are in the neck, which you have no control over because that's where they're pre-machined. So what we're going to have to do is take the neck off. I did this previously, and we're going to have to move this back, well, move the neck back and re-drill the holes. You can see this neck must have been a B-stock or something. There's dings and stuff over the whole back of the body, this edge back here. So, and these screws just kind of go right in to the aluminum. They're machine screws, are not like wood screws like you'd expect. And this neck is dang heavy, I'll tell you what. So there's your machine screws. There's that part. And there's our neck. See, we only have possibility of 4 places based on where we tried to put the screws initially. I don't know if you can see that. That's how far the neck was off. You can see the bridge isn't drilled either, so that's just a pain when you buy something from somebody and they don't pre-drill the bridge holes. I did check the pickups do fit. And the neck does fit well in the pocket. It's just not a perfect fit. So yeah, all parts. Put this over here on our protective old t-shirt, and I've been doing some ciphering on this, and I'm thinking the best way to do this deal is to just take some tape and line up the tape on the edge of, let's get this right, I want to be right on the edge with nothing hanging over. That's pretty darn close. Pull this whole thing off, and now I can lay it in here. And it fits exactly where the neck fit. Now, how far off are those screw holes? Yeah, they're right next to it. So they're two inches on center. Not that one. That's that one. Now let's see what kind of mess we're going to have. See, I'm just off like I was here. The question is, do I fill and re-drill, or do I just scoot everything back a little bit? In other words, drill down and then work my way back to the center of this in order to make the neck fit in the pocket all the way. As you can see here, the shiny part is where the screws went down through the holes. So I knew I was going to have that problem. I've seen bodies where there had a slot here, so it would line up with other necks. So I may have to do that. I don't want to do that, but I think if I use a small enough bit to drill these little holes out, then that'll make it easier to just elongate these holes backwards. So I think that's what we're gonna aim for. And we have our neck securely and properly installed. And what I ended up doing is just elongating all four holes just long enough to get the screws to bite, and it's mounted, and there's no showing through of where the other holes were. I thought it would show, but that's just enough. I figured I'd better do a test fit to make sure that everything fits copacetic. Like the pick guard route is good. Alright, now we can put our electronics in, which aren't wired up yet, but they're wired there. And look at that. Looks like it's ready for mounting time. So you go from the nut to the 12th is 17, and then 34 is where your 34 is where you want to have your saddle sitting. And then we're going to have to line that up with a bunch of tape. And we're using the hip shot type A bridge. I just hope that it is tall enough or short enough, because I remember those being a bit taller. I hope we don't have to shim the neck. The way this is looking right now, it doesn't appear that we will have to. I think that's going to be enough space. Tomorrow is shielding day and maybe bridge mounting day. Alright, boys and girls, we have two smaller bass strings here, and I got them as tight as I really want them. Let's see here. Let's make them just a little looser so I have room to pull. I've got the right amount of distance between this string on the outside and this string on the outside. I'm probably going to shift it that way just a hair. And it's centered. The strings are in the rollers. I like that, so I'm going to get my pen and I'm going to mark where it's going to go. And I'm going to take my punch, which, here it is. Move that back where it goes. Put that back where it goes. Okay. I think we're pretty lined up. Nope. There we go. Pretty lined up. Pretty lined up. Pretty lined up. Okay. Take our punch. We go right in the middle of where the screw is going to go. And we go punch. And we get right in the middle of where the screw is going to go. Make sure we're lined up still. And we're going to go punch. So now we can get this silliness out of here and we can mount our bridge. Alright, so for shielding, I want to use as little of this as possible. And what I'm going to do is just put it over the cavity by a hair and use my fingers to find the outline that we're going to cut out. And give it a, since it is foil, it will take a bend, and I want it to be a little bigger than the actual cavity, so I'm going to cut that a little larger than the indentation I made, so that when I put it in there it's going to be all the way down. Okay, so you see it's a little bigger than the hole, so we can pull the backing off this, stick it down in there, and it's going to cover the whole bottom and then come up on the sides just a little bit. Be careful, man. It cut you. It cut you good. Just put it down in there, do some manipulation. You take the end of a pin. Find what, oh, I can use this. This would be perfect. Yet another use for the amazing Fret Guru. It's a fretting tool, and it's something you could use to push down your shielding tape. So we've got the shielding tape coming up a little bit on both sides because I made it oversized. So that way, whenever you touch it with the other tape that you're going to go around with, see that? It's going to pick up where you, so it meets it. You're going to have full contact, continuity throughout. You're not going to shield the back of the pickups because you can't really make a, unless you have a piece of copper tubing to be your wire loom, which I don't have and I'm not going to get. You're only going to shield really this area here. If you lay a piece of tape down in here, it's not going to be grounded to this. Okay, so we want to just make sure our control pots fit in there and there's no shielding sticking out from anywhere. And since it's over the top, it's going to be in contact with the back of the control plate. So that is good. Let's see, we do have to poke a hole where the wire is going to come. There it is. And poke a little hole there so that the wire will come through from the bridge pickup. Now let me see if I have any foam that I can use for these pickups. Alright, boys and girls, we have our pre-wired control section wired up, but for some reason, and it's definitely pre-used. There's extra solder goop in places where I didn't solder. So we have the ground. Are we in the picture? Yeah, we've got the ground going to the ground. We've got the ground going to the leg. Ground going to the leg. To the ground. Out of here to the sleeve. We've got the output of this jack going to the input and output of this leg for the bridge pickup. Going to the center leg, which is what it says on the diagram, to the hot or the tip. And the two volume controls work, but there is no tone control. I don't know if this capacitor is wore out or if it has a bad ground, but otherwise we have our pickups and our bridge mounted, our neck mounted, our cavity is grounded, our bridge is grounded. I actually might throw some strings on here just to kind of get a better feel for things, but I got to solve the issue of the bad tone control. They're alpha pots, and anything to me that's pre-wired, that's been used, removed, and used again, and then removed, tells me that it could possibly be bad. So I got to figure out what's going on here, do some consultation